Welcome back, Gadgeteers. So it's a Sunday afternoon, slowly coming into evening, and I thought we'd have a fun video. So what I'm going to do is install Fedora Core 1, which was basically called Fedora Core. Now they did have a 32-bit and a 64-bit version of Fedora Core 1, so what we're going to do is go ahead and install the 64-bit version and work with it. Now, as you can see here, I've already installed Fedora Core 1 earlier, so that actually I did maybe 6 months ago, so I'm going to go ahead and redo it right from scratch where we go through the installation and select all the packages and all that good stuff. So here we go. First installation of Fedora Core. Now I wanted to show you, if you look at Fedora Core 3, for example, they did move it to the DVDs, so you had all the packages and everything you needed on a DVD. But if you go down and look at Fedora Core, it had its nickname Yarrow, and we had a difference between i386 and x86-64, and they were only single discs followed by source RPM discs. And I don't remember if I installed everything. I'm going to try and duplicate what I did before. Alright, what we're going to do is click New, and we'll call this Fedora Core 1, and it's the second version of it, and currently it has a type of Linux and Fedora 64-bit, but let's see if we can change that. Let's do next. Let's go back. I really want to change that. Might be something I have to do later, so we'll do next. And 1 GB of memory is probably more than we need for Fedora Core 1, but I'm going to jack it up a little bit. Highly unlikely that we need this, but this laptop has 16 gigabytes of memory, so it has more than enough. We are going to add a virtual hard disk. Oops. Create a virtual hard disk. And once again, it really doesn't have to be all that large. We'll do dynamically allocated, and I like to give it at least 40 gigabytes, even if the actual size of the drive, the storage on the drive I should say, after installing the operating system is only about 2 gigabytes. We'll do create, and we'll go to settings for that machine and storage. And right now it says that the IDE disk controller is empty, so let's stick a CD inside it, and we'll do choose a disk file, and we're gonna try Yarrow x86-64 disk 1. I was thinking that the previous time I did this I may have done i386, so we're going to try it anyway, but if it doesn't work, then we'll go back to the i386 and open, and okay, so theoretically this should boot to disk 1 of Fedora 1. Yep, it's got Yarrow there. So we'll click Start. Okay, so it did boot up, and I believe I'm going to change this to scaled mode. And we'll go ahead and make the screen much bigger so that you can see it. Alright. Now remember, the old Fedora was 4:3, so let's do an upgrade in graphical mode, install or upgrade in graphical mode Text mode is pretty cool. If you ever get a chance, have a look at it. Basically does the same functionality as the graphical mode install, but it's nice. If you were just installing a server, you could go ahead and use text mode, or you can use it even if you're doing your workstation, and I believe that's still available even on the newer versions of Fedora. And I can see that the text there is a little narrow, so let's widen up the screen a little bit. I have not clicked into the window yet. I'm going to go ahead and click into the window. Wants to know if I want to test the CD media. I'm going to go ahead and say skip that. It says no hard drives are found. You probably need to manually choose device drivers for the installation to succeed. Would you like to select drivers now? I'm going to do yes, and it only has the one device. Let's see what happens. It's trying to start. Alright, it did start up. I don't know if it found a hard drive. It may not, because it was a SATA drive that we selected, so it's hard to say. Let's shrink this down a little bit so we can get the full screen on here for you. And we'll go ahead and click next, but I have a suspicion that it did not find the drive. Now notice I don't have any mouse in the virtual machine. That is a problem, but I should be able to get along with just the keyboard. And it does ask me to select a mouse, so we're going to try PS2 and see what happens. Unprobed monitor is fine. Oh, it doesn't want us to do that. We'll do it anyway. And we are going to do the personal desktop. See if I got a moving mouse yet. No. Let's go ahead and do custom. Select this installation type to gain complete control over the installation process. Alright, next. It says it's ready to automatically partition, so I'm hoping it has successfully found the disk. No, it has not. Well, for no understandable reason, I now basically can change anything I want here. So I've got control type as SATA. I'm wondering if I can go down and use LSI logic, which is what I had set it for before. And I'm going to change the name because I believe that particular controller is SCSI. And we have our hard drive here. So let's click OK and start. Now, one thing I am curious about. So we know that I cannot boot with a working mouse. So let's go ahead and shut this down. Power off machine, OK. And we're going to look at this one here and just do one quick setting change. So it is a 64-bit environment, but that doesn't mean you have to run 64-bit code in it. So let's go down to storage, and instead of this Yarrow disk, we're going to go ahead and put in the we don't want disk 2 though. Choose a disk file. We're going to put in Yarrow i386 disk 1. Remember, back then 64-bit would have been very new. So we now have i386 disk 1, and we have Fedora Core set up on a SCSI controller, so it should work. Alright, I was kind of flying through and I didn't stop to look at system. Currently it says pointing device USB tablet. So let's try PS2 mouse and see if that works for us. And we'll click OK. Failed to save settings. Cannot set the host device mode of the serial port 0 because the device path is empty or full. I thought I turned that off. Well, let's try reload settings, because what we did before didn't work. Now we'll cruise down up to system, and it is PS2 mouse and storage, disk 1 of the Yarrow set, which is Fedora Core 1, and we changed the controller to SCSI. Hopefully that will work. Start. Okay, enter. Since I've changed the mouse to PS2, I'm really hoping I have a mouse now. It's not that big of a deal if I don't, because I can do the installation without it. I usually skip this. All it's going to do is, in this case, it's not a CD. It's going to check through the ISO file, and there really is no point in doing that. All right, there we go. And we have our mouse. Awesome. All right, we'll click next. Our type will be English and US English for our keyboard, and wheel mouse PS2. Unprobed monitor. I guess I could do something like a generic LCD display, but I usually just leave it the way it is. Proceed. And we're going to do custom. We just want to see what different packages and things that we can install. Automatic partition. This will tell us if we've got that disk set up right. Partition table on device SDA was unreadable. Good. It must be initialized. Would you like to initialize this drive erasing all data? Yes. We'll just do remove all partitions and next. In this case, we're sure. So this is what it's going to do for me. It looks like it's going to give me a 102 megabyte boot, and slash is going to be, looks like 39 gigabytes, and swap's going to be 1.7 gig. So, the automatic partitioning, really, back in the day, we would do manual, and slash and home and all that we would separate. But we're just going to leave it the way it is and click next. And its label is Fedora Core. We do not want to change the bootloader, so it's not grub 2, it's just grub. And it's going to put it in SDA, which was the /boot partition. And next. And ETH0 DHCP is perfectly fine. We'll go with automatic. This isn't a server after all. We'll let the firewall be enabled. And services-wise, the only one I set is SSH. And we do not want to allow all traffic from a device. Next. English USA default language. And it's got me set up as New York, which is perfectly fine for our time zone. And we're going to set a root password. And next. Okay, so here's where we can select all the different things that we want. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the KDE Desktop on. I thought that would be kind of nice to see the difference between KDE and Gnome. And we're going to go ahead and put all our text editors in. Interesting that VI apparently is not included by default, which surprises me. Graphical internet, yes. Text-based internet, sure. Office and productivity, sound and video, authoring and publishing. Format and convert to HTML, PDF, PostScript. Why not? Games and entertainment. We gotta do games and entertainment. Now, this isn't a server. If it was, I wouldn't be doing a graphical desktop interface. We'll just have a quick look. Development tools, kernel development, I won't be doing any of that. What else we got? Administrative tools. This group is a collection of graphical and administrative tools. Yes. System tools. Sure. Okay. Pretty big, 2.1 gigabytes. Let's click next. And next. It says the software you have selected to install will require the following CDs. Please have these ready before proceeding with the installation. Alright, we're ready to go. Got the first CD in. I actually kind of like how the installer looks compared to today's installer. This doesn't look very Windows 95, 98-ish. It's actually relatively attractive in my opinion. So it's saying it's going to do it in 2 minutes. Well, that's considerably faster than the bad old days where you basically, an installation of this magnitude, first of all, you'd basically fill up the hard drive because the hard drives weren't very big back then. A 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabyte hard drive would have been awesome back then, so I wouldn't have selected all the stuff that I selected. I remember, I don't know if anybody remembers, I think they were called a Bigfoot, and it was a 5 1/4 platter, and what a hoot. In order to get a decent size, you had to install the 5 1/4 platter. Now, let's make this a little smaller. No menu there. Settings, storage. CD is empty? Huh. Let's do Yarrow 32 disk 2. And we'll slide this over here so we can have use of it. And then OK. Whoops. OK. So we're zooming through the installation. This was in the old days when I believe there was no Yum yet, so all your package management was done with RPMs, and it was way more work than it is today, so you'd want to make sure you installed everything early on so that you didn't have to worry about installing packages on a later date. Alright, we want to do disk 3. Settings, storage, empty. It's interesting, it like kicked out the disk. And we did have disk 3 on here, but it doesn't look like it would do anymore. So we will go for disk 3, open, and OK. I have 552 updates on my current Fedora. And we'll do OK. Congratulations! Installation is complete. Remove any media. Well, let's just double check. Wrong one. Fedora Core 1. Storage. Empty. Okay, that's all we needed to know, right? And we'll go back here. And we're going to reboot. And you will see the first boot. Why is that doing that? There we go. The first boot of Fedora Core 1. File type is ext3. Yeah, it did have a kernel panic. Unable to mount root FS on 902. Well, I don't recall that being an issue on my previous one, but we're going to do a reset. And our first core is a 2.4.22. Isn't that cute? Show details. And of course, you just get to see the beautiful booting screen. And there's some finishing up to do here. Welcome. There's a few more steps. Read the license agreement. Well, I agree to it. It's the GNU public license. But is it 1 or 2? Doesn't say. I'm assuming it's 1 because this is quite a while ago. Current time. You really think it would be able to get the time? Let's do enable time protocol and see what happens. Clock.redhat.com. I'm betting that's still in use. Really? Well, we'll try number 2. I used to know them by heart, but I honestly cannot remember anymore. So we are actually 1903. 6 o'clock is 18. Let's create a user account. All right, next. Well, we should play test sound. I don't hear a thing. Oh, that's because I have my mic plugged in, so I'll just say yes. Next, additional CDs. I don't believe we have any. And we're going to finish that up. Okay, so initially, of course, we're going to boot into Gnome. And I want you to see what it looks like. Check this out. We're so used to the sidebar now and the beautiful, almost Mac OS look. And now, of course, we have this. But before we continue, what I would like to do is go into System Settings, Display, because I believe it's something awful like 640 by 480 or 800 by 600. Interesting. Unprobed monitor. Generic LCD display can go up to 90 by 1200. Okay. Settings. 1024 by 768. Okay. Okay. You still had to log out. I shouldn't say still. You had to log out at this point to get the new screen resolution. So, I mean, you could say it's pretty chunky, but I actually think it's nice. And we have our virtual desktops here. We have volume control. We have waiting for first check-in. Let's see what that's all about. Your system did not seem to be registered with the Red Hat network. It's not. Yep, you're right. And check this out. We still have the red Fedora. And we have a pair of keys here. Currently authorized to do all system-wide settings without typing the administrator password again. You can give up this authorization. No, no, no. I will keep it. I like that. So we have some quick tools over here. We have Print Manager. We have Open Office. We've got, actually this one is Calc. This one is Presentations. And then we have the word processor, email, Mozilla web browser. We'll get to that. And we have a start here, trash can, and Mark's home, which doesn't really have anything in it yet, so it's quite empty. And we'll close that back down. And one thing I like to do, I feel like this initial installation of Fedora should have blown us away, and instead they just went with this. And I feel like there's just so much other cool stuff, all these pictures that they could have used, and I realize none of them necessarily showcases that this is Fedora, but I mean, there's just so much. I mean, you could argue that this one right now, except for the Fedora up there, doesn't showcase Fedora, so they could have put Fedora on anything, really, on any image. Rain gutter, River Street, sneaking branch, stone. Let's go with stone. All right. So now we have the pretty stone bird. So let's take a look at everything we've got available in here. So accessories, we actually have a calculator and a dictionary. Let's see if it needs interwebs to work. We'll look up Linux, an open source version of the Unix operating system. Awesome. Operating system. WordNet. So it might be coming. This might be the source that was used, or it may be something retrieved from the internet. Software that controls the execution of a computer and programs. What else we got? We have a calculator, which is fairly typical. I do like that it's set. Looks like scientific mode. No, this is called basic mode. Nice. And in accessories, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but what do we got? What is File Roller? Handle compressed archives. Very cool. Print Manager, text editor, Unicode. What text editor do we have? Gedit. Good choice. Actually, probably the best GUI text editor if you want simplicity and quickness, when you just want to get the job done. All right, what other accessories do we have? I'm just curious. No printers found. Run the printer configuration tool. I do have a printer, so let's find out if it can find that printer. It's on the network. It's a Wi-Fi printer. So we're going to find out if it can see it. All right, well, after checking the interwebs and trying a variety of printer commands, I had no luck, but I did print a test page on my printer, and as you can see, I am able to ping the IP of the printer despite the fact that I'm using NAT. So the NAT is working fairly well for VirtualBox. So let's try it. Let's put the server IP in here and see what happens. So we have 192.168.1.156. Forward. Well, it's definitely not a 9-pin printer. ESCP.matrix. It amazes me at how old this really is. PCL 3, 4, 5, 6 printer. I really think PostScript will probably work. Otherwise, we've got to go to Brother. Mine is the HL L2360DW. And these are a decade more or older, so yeah. PostScript raw print queue. I'm pretty sure PostScript is also enabled on this printer, so let's give it the old college try. About to create the following queue. Go for it. Would you like to print a test page? Why not? Alright, well, I tried a number of different configuration settings, and all I kept getting was destination printer does not exist. I tried several different drivers. I think if it was on the bridged network instead of the NAT network, that things might actually work quite well. Alright, anyway, printing is still using cups. If it was connected directly, then I know it would work. There's no doubt about that. Alright. Don't save my changes. Let's see what else we have here. We have a variety of different games. Wow. I guess gaming was the thing back then. 4 in a row, Free Cell, K Asteroids, K Atomic, Poker, cool. Mahjong, Nibbles, Stones, Tall, Tetravex. Quite a bit here. Alright, I'm just curious, what's K Asteroids? Oh well, oh dear. So far, whoops. It kind of works. I didn't really mean to start spinning away. Yeah, it does work, I guess. Let's see if I can stop myself, or slow myself down at least. Oh, that's a little too close for comfort. Well, my ship was destroyed. I did like asteroids when I was a kid. It was so much fun. Alright, so we have quite a few games on here. Just another quick look in case you were curious. A Tetris as well. What do we have for graphics? Color palette editor, digital camera tool, G-Thumb image viewer, the GIMP. Welcome to the GIMP. Copyright 95-2000. First time installing, cache size 32. Continue. Wow. Close. This is definitely different. I believe I'm used to having this up here, that there, and usually this somewhere in the middle. So let's open. I have a screenshot. File. Open. Desktop. Maybe I don't. Let me check real quick. Could have swore. Yeah, there it is right there. Screenshot.png. Open with the GIMP. Don't need the tip. So yeah, this is a little bit of an issue. You know, it opened up multiple images of the window. So let's close the previous one. And it does not close the additional windows. Oops. Make a liar out of me. Let's try that again. Matter of fact, we'll just close them all and do open with the GIMP. close, layers, channels, and paths. I'm used to having that here. So there we have the actual file that I just saved of the desktop. Close, close. What else do we have? So quite a lot of different programs here. Now keep in mind we did install basically everything. Interwebs, let's check it out. Mozilla web browser. You are about to create a Mozilla profile based on your Netscape 4 profile. I'm going to let it convert it because honestly don't think we have one. Netscape 4, that is. About Mozilla version 1.4.1. And it looks like it opened an additional screen. Do we have additional tabs? New folder. No, this was even before there were tabs. That's crazy. All right, let's go to one that should work. Accept the certificate permanently. And go to a popular topic. I've seen worse. From drab to fab in no time. 8 minutes of a slow-mo puppies. Let's see if it'll play. Uh-oh. Yeah, YouTube was way beyond what this thing could do. What about... No, I just want to select all the text here. No common encryption algorithms, so they cannot communicate. Let's see. Will CNN work? I don't want to be alerted whenever I use an encryption page. Yeah, there's no common encryption algorithms. Mozilla and agility.cnn.com can't communicate securely. Everything's went to HTTPS, and I'm not sure which version we're on now, but basically if you don't have HTTPS for a secure communication with the server, you're really not going to get through anymore. Well, we kind of got through by clicking the US. Florida woman attacked by 10-foot alligator while trimming trees. You can't make this stuff up. Well, I mean, we can actually get on the internet, sort of. It's not pretty, but we're there. How about Linux Foundation.org? No, ain't gonna happen. We can go to Google at least. We can look at the Space Jam website. Well, what did we expect anyway? I wonder... I suppose an update would have been old school, so you'd have to download the RPM and then do the install. I'm not sure how new I could get it, but I'm thinking I would be shocked if I could get newer than 3.0 on this. Still has that Netscape look, doesn't it? It's kind of cool, but yeah, we won't be getting on the interwebs with this thing. What else do we got? So that was the internet. We have Evolution Mail, messaging client, and more internet. Wow, a lot more internet applications. IRC client, KDE, Kmail, Knews Ticker. Corn. Let's check out Knews ticker. It's not what I wanted. I did not want Knode. Sorry, folks. It's kind of hard with the using a virtual mouse. Okay, interwebs. Knews ticker. I just wanted to check this out. No, I guess not. No Knews ticker anymore. One last quick look, because our life is basically internet these days. Conqueror web browser. I doubt it would do any better than Netscape. Mozilla. Remote desktop connection. Office. Let's have a look at Office Writer. And you have the paragraph styles. I wonder if I can... No, I guess not. I guess it's just kind of floating there. I wonder if we can do new templates and documents. Presentation backgrounds. Dark blue with orange. That's the only templates they have? We'll try it. Sounds more like it would be for Impress. Yeah, it is. Ooh, that's rough, that text right there. If it's opening this document in Write, of course, it would not look too pretty. Let's try another one. Ooh, no. Templates. Oh, we do have more templates. My mistake. Labels, master document, presentation, spreadsheet, text document, business cards. I've been needing my business cards. New document. I'm not overly impressed. Of course, you know, I haven't used this version of OpenOffice in, wow, is it really more than 1 decade? Yeah, it would be. It's been more than 20 years. Wow. All right. I still am impressed by how good, in my opinion, this software looks for how old it is. Let's find out how old it really is. I'm thinking 95, 96. All right, my mistake. Yarrow was actually released in 2003. Before that, it would have been Red Hat. So 17 years old, and it had a span of life from 2004, September 20th. Kernel 2.4.22 and Gnome 2.4. All right, we had a quick look at Office. What are more Office applications? OpenOffice.org repair. Reasonable. Preferences, there are a lot. As much as we have today, really. Let's look at the Control Center. Accessibility, About Myself, Background, Control Center, Preferences. Control Center in the Control Center. Sound, theme, screensaver. Let's check out screensavers. Julia, Kaleidoscope. Oh, that's pretty. Let's get a preview. Wow. Now notice how fast it's going. Clearly is using the processor, and it doesn't have any slowing down based on a faster processor. Lament. Laser. I remember that one. I used that one. Lightning. Lisa. What is Morph 3D? Oh my god. Welcome back to Windows 95, everybody. Oh my goodness. Okay, we don't need to see that anymore. Fascinating though. And we're going to close that, and we're going to go back up to programming. We have Emacs set up. Sound and video, audio player, CD player, music player, sound recorder, pretty much everything. More sound and video. Caboodle, K-Mid, Sound Juicer, CD Ripper, I remember that. And what did the audio player look like? Nothing too fancy. Basically, it looks like the audio player of the day. It's funny how our audio players have become so huge. They take up the whole screen when before the design was to be super compact. Okay, what else do we got? System settings, which we did do the display change on the system settings. We can change the login screen. Let's have a look. This is serious business. If you're going to change the login screen, you have to log in. Welcome string, I love it. Graphical greeter or standard. Remote would be a standard greeter, so more than likely text. Log on a user automatically on first boot up. I could do that, but I'm not going to, because we're going to try KDE in a minute here. You forgot about that? What do you mean you forgot about it? Home folder we looked at. Network folders we have none set up. Run application. Search for files. Open recent. One thing I did try to do earlier was start typing and look for gedit, and the first character is the only one that is useful. After that, nope. So you can't, let's try it right from the desktop. No. Okay, the big finish. Let's log out, see if we can figure out a way to get KDE running. Session, what do you think? Yeah, there we go. Default system session, Gnome, KDE. Here we go. Let's log into KDE and see what it looked like 17 wonderful years ago. Not really a huge difference back in the day. We have 3 icons here. We have the toolbar down here with the most used icons, the red hat, our keyring, printer, it looks like, yeah, clipboard tool, and let's look at the menu is basically identical as far as I can tell as it is in Gnome. Kind of anticlimactic, but let's configure the desktop. Past background. We can't have this basic background. It's so boring. It looks like mode. Single wallpaper, multiple wallpapers, wallpaper, browse. Gotcha. It is not surprising to see different wallpapers between KDE and Gnome. They have their own sets. And if you hear noise down there, that's my dog. Wow, that looks kind of cool. Let's see what it looks like. Very nice. Very early 2000s, for sure. All we need is a big orb here floating in the sky. Okay, so one last thing I want to do, we haven't done. Let's go to System Tools, Terminal. I think we did some basic stuff. uname-r. That's our kernel version. But what I wanted to see, and I liked doing this, if we can change the look. Black on white just wasn't my style. Find previous, next, history, clear terminal, reset, view, settings maybe? Show menu bar, full screen, bell, none. Size, schema. It looks like you were definitely more limited. Black on light color? I guess that is like a cream color. Schema again. Green tint with transparent MC. Yeah, that's what I was wondering if you could do. Well, sort of. I don't see the icons. I think they're just using the background image itself, not the desktop background. It's kind of cool. What about settings again? And schema. Transparent console. That's nice. It's not necessarily real. Let's open up this wallpaper here. Shrink it down. Maybe not. Try again. Yeah, shrink it down. And then, yeah. So it's just using the wallpaper as a backdrop and then using the correct pixels to show that background. But still kind of cool. What else could we do? Full screen. Configure console, schema, green on black, settings, schema. It's still at transparent here. Oh, we'll do a green on black. That right there reminds me of the good old days, except the text was too clear. I used many servers that had nothing more than green text on a black background. Let's see if Yum is installed. It is. Interesting. Well, we gotta try some stuff with that, don't we? Let's do Yum update Firefox. Error. Barcache Yum base header.info cannot be found. Ask your sysadmin to update the headers on this system. Would it do Yum update anything? No. And that text is probably terrible for you guys to read, so let me fix that. Schema. Whatever. Black on light color. Now it looks rose to me. Anyway. I did try to run Yum update Firefox. I could probably go and find the RPM and then use Yum to update with that Firefox version, but it's really not going to do any good. You probably already knew that. But anyway, one thing I did want to check out, remember we were talking about what kernel type and what bit we had, 32 or 64, and we used uname before. Let's do a man uname, and we can do an all. We'll just do an all. Uname-a, and it is i686 386. So it would be x86 underscore 64 if we had gotten the 64-bit version to work in the previous virtual machine that I made. Absolutely interesting. Can I make this larger for you guys? Settings. I don't know if I can easily anyway. scroll bar, full screen bell, font. Normal. Tiny. How about large? Yeah, that'll do it. So Yum was installed on the first version of Fedora Core. I honestly don't remember that, but I have been corrected. I am in my home directory. Looks very similar, doesn't it, to today? And on the desktop is that screenshot I created. I don't think I put anything in trash, did I? You can use dir, but it's going to give you a really... Let's go back and I'll show you. So we do ls. Notice the different colors. We do, let me clear the screen, dir, and it's all in black. And we could do man, look at the information about dir. We can see all the entries with dot. And that's about it. It's very basic. List information about the files, the current directory by default. Sort entries alphabetically if none, nor sort. I guess it is more advanced than I thought. Wow, way more advanced. Excellent. So let's go here. All the way back up to the top. And we're going to try and grab this. I don't see an A in there though. Do an edit, copy, quit, go back one directory, and if we do an lshal here, you can see all the folders with dot in it. And we'll do dir, edit, paste, but we're going to add an A to that. Basically the same. Now you're seeing all the different hidden folders. Remember, the dot in front of it indicates that it's hidden. So normally that's really all we'd see. You could make all your own directories, pictures, documents, things like that, that we take for granted today. So a little bit different. Did we miss anything? I think we got it all. I hope you found this interesting. It really, to me, it doesn't look as dated as I thought it would. I mean, of course, it's very Windows 98, but I think it looks better than Windows 98 and Windows 95. What's your opinion? Yes? No? Oh gosh. Game. So that's the only one we've got? Accounts? Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at Fedora Core 1 and how truly awesome it was. Of course, it had a lot of Red Hat versions before it to become able to hone the rough edges, so it wasn't like really like a 1.0 release. It was coming from Fedora. So even so, I'm impressed. What do you think? If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment and let me know what you think. If you really enjoyed it, like it. If you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing and consider possibly, let's see, what could we have you do? Subscribe. How about share it? Share the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you next time on FastGadgets. This video was made possible with support from viewers like you. If you find this video useful, consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/FastGadgets.